Alright, I had a request to do 7.3 number 54. The solution is shown on there, but somebody wanted me to go through a video explanation because they didn't quite understand the solution there. So the first step is to just take the picture that was given and realize what we want to find. We need to find these three sides, right? We need to find the distance from the pitching mound, which we called P, out to side B, out to side C, out to side D, out to first base, second base, and third base. So the first triangle that we're going to look at, and let me come in here with the yellow, we're going to look at this triangle right here. We're going to look at this guy, this big fat triangle ABC. Sometimes when they try to describe it's a little bit hard. So let's talk about some things that we know. We know it's a right triangle. We know that that line's going right through the center, so the measure of angle C is 45 degrees, and the measure of angle A is also 45 degrees, and B is equal to 90 degrees. Because it's a 90-degree angle with two 45s, I don't know if I even needed to say what angle C and angle B are. Because it's a right triangle, it's going to follow the Pythagorean theorem. So the distance from A to C, right, that this long distance here, the hypotenuse length, is going to be easy. AC squared is equal to, well, the hypotenuse squared is equal to the legs being summed up squared. And so AC squared is going to be equal to 2 times 60 squared, right? And so what's that going to be? Take the square root of both sides. We're going to get 60 root 2 out of that, right? Just keeping everything simple. So the distance from A to C is 60 root 2. So let me show you what that is. Let me go in blue here, and let me move this to the other side. So where is this 60 root 2? Where is AC? Right here. This is 60 root 2. Now remember what we want. We want the distance from the pitching mound out. What do we want? We want just this distance right here. Easily found because they gave us this as 46. The answer for the distance from P to C, and one of the things that we want to find, is simply 60 root 2, that full distance, minus the 46 that has already been taken up. And if we look at the difference there, it's about 38.9 feet, right? And so that it should be the first one that we find. So that's the distance to second base is what they'll label on. They don't have the PC labeling. I did try to keep the same labeling as the solutions. Perfect, right? So we got one of them. Now let's turn to another triangle. So as I do that, let me erase what we had in here. Okay, so there's the original picture. We found PC. PC is done. So now let's look at triangle APB. Well, where's triangle APB? Here's APB. Now there's not a right triangle, but I do know that angle A is 45 degrees. Angle B is not necessarily 45 degrees because things are cutting in from that pitcher's mound. There's no 90-degree angle in this picture. We did know that the baseball diamond formed a square, so we knew those corners were 90 degrees. But as we go into the pitcher's mound, it's really shown in the book very well. It looks almost like a kite. They're not coming straight in. They're coming at an angle, and we don't know what that angle is. But we do know that angle A is 45 degrees, right? So I did need to note that along the way. So we know that angle A is equal to 45 degrees. So because we know angle A is 45 degrees, we can use the law of cosine. So I know this angle right here. And remember what I want to know. I want to know this distance right here from P to B, right? And so let's go find it. So let's remember the law of cosines. So the law of cosine says, hey, this side I want to find, PB, that's what I want to find squared, that's got to equal the other two sides squared, so that's the 46 squared plus the 60 squared minus 2 times the 46 times the 60, the other two sides, cosine of 45 degrees. Right? So that's what we should have gotten out of our log cosine stuff. Hey, if you want the side, it's the other two sides squared added up minus 2 times those two sides multiplied together times the cosine of the angle opposite it. Well, let's go through here. PB squared is equal to, well, let's just plug it into our calculator. Why would I do anything else? 46 squared plus 60 squared minus 2 times 46 times 60 not divided times cosine of 45, making sure I'm in degree mode, hit equals, and I get a huge number, 1812.77, but I'm going to remember to square root it, and I get PB being equal to roughly 42.6, right? Let's see what they have. Yeah, 42.6, that's where they round it, feet. Now, so we got PB, the distance from the pitcher's mound out to first base. That guy's done at 42.6, and then it's going to be the exact same thing. Those are congruent triangles. They have the same angles and they share a side, so they'll say they're congruent, but they're exactly the same triangle. So PD is also 42.6 feet. So it's 46 feet to the baseball diamond. It's a little bit less out to second base, 38 feet, and a little bit more out to the bases. So it's not perfectly centered at all in there, but it works, right? It's the way they play. So now we got everything. So hopefully that helps you understand the solution that was in there as we walk through that one on our own.